Welcome to Female Fluence. We are a place of women empowering women. This is a safe environment where females are not judged nor afraid to flourish. My goal is to help you live an energized life of balance, whether as a mom, a wife, or in your profession. It is time to have self-worth and self-compassion. Live in the present moment and surround yourself with only healthy connections. So join me, Pearl Shur, a woman empowerment life coach, an educator, and a mother of three, to help take you on a journey of true identity and inspiration. For years, your life has revolved around raising your children, nurturing their independence, preparing them to soar. As they spread their wings, the question lingers, what's next for me? From playgroups and mommy and me classes to music circles and carpools, you have done it all. You have been the soccer mom, the room parent, and the family planner for years and years. But now when your children enter a new chapter, you are also stepping into one of your own. It's common, though, to feel unmoored, unsure of your purpose, or even you feel like you're no longer needed, which is a really scary feeling. Maybe you've caused yourself to spiral into self-doubt, over focusing on your kids' lives in college, or losing yourself in others' expectations. But here's the thing. This chapter isn't an ending. It's actually a beginning. This episode aims to guide you toward rediscovering yourself, to help you embrace the possibilities ahead, uncover your passions, and step into your latest, most vibrant version. It won't always be easy, but it will be exciting. Because here's the truth. Your age is not a limitation. It's actually your superpower. The more passion you bring to life, the more vibrant and fulfilling it will become. This stage of your children's life is incredible. It's exciting. But guess what? This stage of your life is just as exciting if you allow it to be. So today, my guest, Jodi Silverman, is here to help us reframe what it means to be an empty nester and show us how this phase can be full of growth, adventure, and purpose. Jodi Silverman knows firsthand the fear and uncertainty of life transitions. Her journey began long before her kids left for college. She actually started feeling this shift when her second child got his driver's license. Because this is a time when you start realizing, am I needed less? Am I needed at all? And that struck a deep chord for her, awakening one of mother's greatest fears. So what happens when my kids don't need me anymore? What are we supposed to do? As a certified life coach, Jodi refused to let this fear and self-doubt define her story. Instead, she boldly leaned into it, that discomfort, that fear, and actually called it living my daring life. This courageous mindset later led her to create the Mothers Who Dare community, a thriving space dedicated to helping mothers actually embrace growth, connection, and adventure in every stage of life. Jodi is passionate about assisting women to strive, to survive, and thrive through life transitions, especially the empty nest years and beyond. Through her public speaking and her podcast, Beyond Empty Nest and Moms Who Dare community, she has actually empowered thousands of women to rediscover meaning, purpose, and joy. Jodi, welcome to Female Fluence. I'm so excited to have you here. I resonate with this topic so much. I'm not an official, as we talked about, official empty nester yet, but kind of living in the fear of being one. This is what pushed me to step into the next part of my life before, actually earlier, which I will talk about that more, which we think actually it's better to do than wait when it's, when it's just about to happen, because you have all these emotions wrapped up in it. So Jodi, welcome.
Well, thank you, Pearl. That was a wonderful introduction. I'm like, oh, I want to hear that episode.
Perfect. So
Oh,
Jody, let's go back. Tell me about you turned 45, you had the perfect house, two healthy kids, your own business, a wonderful husband. So what happened where all of a sudden you just felt that something was not right?
yeah. So great question. And I was 45 when you said, I'm like, I'm 58 now. Oh my gosh. You close your eyes, just like raising your
Yep.
kids. You close your eyes, you wake up and they're gone. Son was a freshman in high school and my daughter was a senior and she was getting ready to graduate. And just like you said, Pearl, I truly believe empty nest begins when they get their driver's license. Because that's when they say, no, mom, I can drive myself to play practice. I can drive myself to basketball practice. And you're left there at that hour, that witching hour of 3 to 5 o'clock, like, what do I
What
do
do I
now?
do? And just to add on to that, that's when you have the deepest conversations, like connections with your kids. There's
Yes.
you all of a sudden lose that. You feel like you have no idea unless you make an effort. You have no idea what's going on with their life because you don't have them trapped in the car for that,
No.
hour or whatnot. But continue.
So true. So yeah, so there we were, a freshman and a senior, and I was in a quiet space. And like you said, I'll get to that in a minute. So I was in this quiet space, and sometimes when you're alone with your thoughts, it can be scary, but it's also really good because questions pop up, and a question popped up. And at the time, I worked part-time for myself. I sold commercial printing. I know, real sexy. And I thought to myself, so wow, I'm going to have a lot of extra time on my hands when Ellie graduates. Ellie is my daughter, Daniel's my son, you know, and Daniel not too far behind. And truth be told, my daughter will sit and talk to me for hours at the dinner table. My daughter will go have a manicure with me. My daughter will, be my fashion guide and come in and tell me you're wearing too much black mom. Not my son. So I'm thinking, wow, I'm really going to have a lot of extra time and space on my hands. Is what I'm doing really is it enough? Is it enough? Is it what I want to be doing? And really, it was a resounding hell no. I mean, that's literally the two words that popped into my head. And Pearl, in that moment, which I know a lot of women and moms can resonate with this next statement, I thought, well, who am I not to be fulfilled? Who am I not to be okay with that? Like you said, I live in my dream house in my dream neighborhood with a man that I could never imagine having anybody else share my life with. My kids are doing really well at the time. And I get to choose my own schedule because I work for myself. Like what? No. So I cut that. I went through that. I was in this quiet space for a couple hours and I processed all that. And at the end of it, the bottom line was I did not want to continue running my print business after my kids were gone. That's where it landed. I had no idea what that meant. I didn't know what I would do. I knew I wanted to do something and I knew we needed a little extra income. I didn't have to go get a six-figure,
Right.
job. So I wanted to earn an income. We needed a little extra money. I didn't know what that looked or felt like, but I knew it wasn't selling printing anymore. And I truly believe it was in that moment, asking the question and just letting it land and not getting stressed over what it was, because I did have my business. It gave me a little bit more peace with doing the business, knowing that I knew I wasn't going to continue. And yet I believe it in hindsight, it opened up my mind and my heart to be receptive to when opportunities showed themselves. And I didn't know that in the moment. This is like through years of personal growth. I look back, I'm like, when you ask yourself a question and you let the answer lie and land without worrying about what's next, opportunities right there. The people come to you, the opportunities show themselves. And that's what happened in that space. And I just knew there was something else I was meant to be doing. I had no idea what. No idea.
Isn't it incredible when we just stop the noise and we're quiet,
Mm.
how we are actually taking that time to listen within ourselves? Because I feel like that's what happens a lot of times, as females, especially, or moms, we are so busy that we can't even take a moment to be like, am I even happy? Do I like what I'm doing? Am I fulfilled? If we get in that rut of just routine and autopilot that we're not even, that's why they say it's really important to do like a regular check-in. to do that check-in, even if it's like every 6 months, do a reflection and check in and say, okay, what's going on in this aspect of my life? Am I fulfilled?
Yes.
Am I happy? What can I do better? So that's the time that you actually had that quiet time zone and you just checked in and you're like, wait, I look like I have it all, but there's still something missing and I'm not 100% fulfilled. But what can I do to change that? So,
Yeah, and I'm allowed
of
because
course.
it wasn't about being unhappy as a mom or unhappy in my life. It was for me, only me. It had nothing to do with anybody else or
Because there
anything
is
else.
judgment, right? Because people
Right.
are
It
like,
was
well, what's
all
wrong with
about
you? Like you have
me.
healthy kids and you have this. It's a different conversation that unless you're talking to females who are in the same boat that they're not
I
going to
get it.
understand, they will not get it because they will just tell you, because I went through that and it was like, well, why do you want to work? Why do you want to do this? I don't understand. Now your life is getting easier. Your kids are getting older. And I was just like, no, I can't imagine for like the next 40 years, like, what am I going to be doing? Just going out to lunch and hanging out? Like I can't, I have to fulfill myself. I need to feel like having personal growth at all times.
Yes.
And only people who are in the same alignment and make that connection get it.
I have to go back to the intuition part because women, period, have such strong intuition. And like you said, we get so bogged down in taking care of everybody else and doing everything for everybody else and doing and doing and doing and doing, whether it's for our children or whether it's for work, career, a partner, whatever it might be, family, that we don't hear it anymore. So yeah, I didn't know about that. I didn't know any of the spiritual side of this. I didn't know any of the universal energy. All I knew was I was in this quiet space and I was like, I'm not doing this the rest of my life. And I would also, I know we're probably jumping ahead here, but something else you said, and I'm finding now in my 50s and even back then, we're not judging each other anymore. Moms and women are supporting each other. If you tell me that you think you have to work, what are you going to do? I have to get a job. I go, I've had women say to me in coaching, I have to work now. I'm like, well, do you? Do you? And they look at me. I'm like, well, do you have to? Is it integral to your family that you bring in an income? And if they say no, I said, then what would you want to do? And you know what? The world's your oyster then. And if you do have to bring in an income, okay, let's make it fun. Because you and I both know we can make money doing something fun and that brings us joy. This right here is joyful. So yeah, there's so much that goes on, but we have to get quiet to listen to ourselves. All the answers are right here in our
It
heart.
is. The quiet space is incredible. And sometimes I feel like a lot of us are too scared to let that quiet space in because we don't
Oh,
want to think, we don't want to hear it. It's just so much easier to kind of numb it and not hear it.
well, that's a whole nother
That's
topic of
another whole
what
podcast.
it's what we might realize that's the hard stuff. And that's okay too, because in the mess are gifts. So
Yes, yes. So how did you go? So here you are, you had this, you listened to your intuition, you had the quiet space. How did you go from feeling lost in this space of emptiness to kind of reclaiming joy? I guess what was your first step? What was the first thing that happened to lead you to this incredible journey?
the first phase of emptiness was my daughter leaving, and then because there's a 3 year age difference in school from my children. So, but it was still empty nest because I went from a family of four to a family of three, and my son was running and doing what my daughter was doing in high school, running and being with his friends. And full disclosure, if I had to be really authentic and honest here, I was sad that the house was going to feel still and empty when my son left. And I was excited as well. I was excited for him and my children. And I was excited for me, for what the possibilities could be. So when my daughter left, I did say yes to another business opportunity, kept me very busy. It was a lot easier to do with one instead of two children at the house. So I didn't feel as guilty going out at night, doing what I wanted to do. Um, I think the first thing is embracing the fact that this is what we were meant to do as moms, raise our children, send them off to brave new experiences and meet new people. And if you want to move through the loss and find your joy, You must first agree and give yourself permission to do exactly the same thing. Now it's your turn to brave new experiences, meet new people, and go try new things. So, shaking up my routine was a big one because it was quiet in the house. I found myself restless and a difficulty time in settling in between the hours of 4 and 7. My husband doesn't come home until like 7:30 for dinner.
Usually that's called like that, the crazy time, right? Like when you
Yeah.
have toddlers or you have like the carpool hour. So yes,
Yep.
everyone feels it at that time.
Yeah, and even when the kids were out doing their own thing at practices, I was still getting things ready at home, and I still had, laundry to do, and I was
Yeah.
busy. I found myself very restless and unsettled during that time. And when I recognized it, I just started changing up my routine. Guess what the beautiful thing is now, Pearl? I don't have to get all of the errands finished and complete and get to the market and do everything I need to do by 3 o'clock in the afternoon. I don't
That's
have to rush through the work that I like to do to get to the market. I can literally leave my house at 4 o'clock. When everybody's wrapping up to come home from work, I can go to the mall. It's very quiet at the mall at 4 o'clock, 5 o'clock. I can go to Target. I can go to Walmart. So the first thing that I always suggest to the mom who's really feeling restless and sad and lonely, number one, feel it. You're allowed to feel it. I cried.
it's mourning, right? It's mourning
Yeah,
that
it's
stage of
there's a
your life.
grief.
Yeah,
Yeah,
there's grief.
somebody I was just talking to said it. The only way to get move on is to go through it. You have to go through the emotions. So you get to cry, you get to miss your children, and but don't stay there too long. Like that's the key. So what can you do? Feel it. Give yourself a timer. If you're really having trouble, that's a really good grief tip. Set a timer for 10 minutes of crying, then pick yourself up and say, what am I going to do now? Call a friend, start a walking club. Maybe 2 days a week, you're going to go walking at 3 o'clock. Whatever it is, you change up your routine so that you can shake things up a little bit and you ease that difficult time for yourself. And that's what I did. And I started saying yes. I started saying yes to invitations, yes to see a new business opportunity, yes to go to a women's empowerment conference, yes to go to dinner with my girlfriends, yes to maybe play tennis on a weeknight instead of a morning. Start saying yes to invitations. It could feel awkward, it could feel hard. And once you do it, it feels so good. It feels so good.
That is really good advice. I think that is the key, saying yes. It's when we say no and reject the invitations because we want to kind of stay in our little space and just continue being sad.
Yeah.
And it's hard. It's hard to get into that comfort zone and just say, yes, I'm going to try the tennis class or lesson or whatever it is. It's very, very hard. And then how did you overcome your fear of judgment in your new venture? Like we were talking about, I mean,
Oh,
it's hard. It's
a big
hard
one.
to do. If you have a good community, then you have, I mean, as women, we need to all work together as a community. But sometimes there is, unfortunately, there is judgment out there, whether it's with, it could be female or male. There is judgment. So how did you deal with that?
So it's interesting because there were two different parts to my reinvention, my reinvention of myself. The first was saying yes to a multi-level marketing direct sales business opportunity. And that was the one that scared me, that scared the bejesus out of me, because that's the one I feared the most judgment because people tell you those things don't work, there are pyramids, that whole thing. If you've ever been part of a direct mail, direct marketing, or what they call network marketing. Um, the business made sense to me, Pearl. It was a springboard that led me to sitting here with you today. It was a springboard that introduced me to life coaching that made me say,
So
I'm
it
going to
had
go.
what it had nothing to do with this. It was like another something else.
No. So, but that was the one that I was so scared of judgment on because I felt I was very respected by my friends and family. I had a really great reputation in the sales world and those things were frowned upon. With respect to that, I just made up my mind. This business made sense. Just like a sales organization made sense. The manager makes an override on the salespeople and so on. And so I took the position. I have a new business. I'm excited about it. I'm not asking your opinion. I just want you to be happy for
Be
me.
happy for you.
And then there was the fear when I decided to become the life coach, which that business led me to. Who am I? Who am I to be a life coach for women? My friends have the same life experience as mom as I do. What makes me think I can get online and go live and talk to you about self-talk and limiting beliefs and how to parent your child? And I had to do a lot of self-talk myself. It was going through the personal growth journey myself and the life coaching that allowed me to develop the tools and the skills to stop the negative self-talk, to stop the judgment when it would pop up, because it still comes up, and say, no, I'm one voice. I have a voice. I'm sharing what has worked for me. And if another mom likes it, great. If they can benefit from it, great. If they have an alternate view, they can share it. And if they don't like my voice, that's okay too. Maybe they like Pearl's voice better. So it didn't happen overnight. It was during the process of entering into my personal growth and development stage where I was going to personal growth seminars, women empowerment event, reading books like Think and Grow Rich. And I mean, the oldies but goodies, the
Yes.
Darren Hardy's The Compound Effect, and then the Brene Browns of the world. And
Yes. Yes.
and and I had to learn and getting my own coach who pointed out that my self-talk, I mean, I am Miss Optimism. If you talk to any of my friends, I don't see the glass as half full. I see it overflowing. And yet my first coach told me and pointed out to me that my language and the words and phrases I was using to describe myself to her were not very kind all the time. They were full of judgment. So it was,
It's interesting because you didn't even pick up on that, but all of a sudden it's like, wait, no, I'm really positive, I'm happy, but then are you like that towards yourself and you don't even realize how you are?
it's important to invest in yourself. Invest in you need a toolbox. We need a mom tool, a midlife mom toolbox
I
that has
love
all
it.
these tools.
You need to
Yes,
patent
right? We do.
this.
Yeah. We do. I'm going to go make it. I'm going to go make it. A mom toolbox. And in that toolbox are your self-talk tools. Catching yourself when you say, I should, I'm not good, or a self-talk, a resilience tool that helps you move through the sadness and the loss a little bit quicker than yesterday. And when I say that, I'm cautious because your ability to move through a challenge or an obstacle is going to look and feel different than my ability. And there's no judgment there. The only goal for everybody who's moving through the loss of their children leaving home is in, in moving through it just a little quicker each day. So you cried for 10 minutes yesterday, you cried for 8 minutes tomorrow, you cried for 6 minutes the next day. That's resilience, being able just to improve it just a little bit at a time so that you feel good.
You know, Jody, you are really a shining example for the empty nesters out there. I love it. And as you're talking, I feel like our journey is so similar, like the books, the classes, the empowering ourselves. And when I dived into doing this and having a podcast and being a woman empowerment coach, it's hard at the beginning because you're just like, well, who am I? Like what, the same thing, those questions, the self-doubt, the inner critique. But one of the things that always helped me was like just realizing that I am not for everyone, like you're saying. As long as you remember that, yes, there's 1,000 whatever life coaches that they're everywhere. They're on TikTok, they're on Instagram. There's so many. But if you think about it, there's 1,000 coffee shops everywhere you go, right? Like every on one street you can have like same like nail stores next to each other. I mean, so if everyone had that mentality saying, well, no, I'm not going to open up my restaurant here. There's another restaurant over here. Like that would never work out. You need to just realize that you're not for everyone, but there's going to be people just geared for you. There's going to be people that want to hear Jodi, want to listen to Jodi, want to learn from you. And then there's people that want to learn from me. So as long as you have that mentality, then that's in that way too. It's like we can all learn as women to collaborate, work together. We're not competing. We're in this together. We are pushing each other to rise up together, grow with confidence. That's the key.
Absolutely. Pearl, one of my favorite quotes, and I think it's behind me somewhere there. It's actually hanging up behind the picture of my kids behind me. It says, "Be yourself, everyone else is taken."
Yes, I love that quote.
Another when I first started the Moms Who Dare community, it's a Facebook group. I had gone into a lot of different empty nest Facebook groups, and they're all great. They all have their own vibe, they all have their own feel. The one thing that I knew that I wanted my group to be that I didn't feel a lot of the others were. And it's not, this just is, I wanted mine to be a place where, yes, we have empathy for you if you come in and say you're struggling. We will support you. We will offer productive, really compassionate advice and support, and we're moving you forward. And I saw a lot of other groups. It was everybody commiserating in the sadness. It's nice to say, Pearl, in a comment, I totally get it. I felt the same way. But some of the groups, they were really going down this sad rabbit hole.
Oh, I
It
got
was
you.
very important for me, for moms who dare to be forward moving. Yes, you're going to be sad. Yes, it's hard. Yes, there's grief. Yes, you might feel loss of purpose. And not but and. Yes, and all right, we're going to figure this out together and we're going to move forward. Are you ready? Because if you're yes butting yourself, you're going to stay in the sadness. If you're yes anding yourself, which is like an improv thing, then you're going to be forward moving. And I want to say something you said in the beginning, if I may. You talked about not being needed anymore. It's really the number one thing. There's like three major reasons major challenges that the women tell me they face when they join the Facebook group, and not being needed by my children anymore. And I get that. I felt that way too. I've since learned they always need us. We are forever their moms. They need us differently. And we get to meet them where they are now. They need us. They do. My 29-year-old, she's gonna be 30 this weekend. My 29-year-old got hit with a major health issue. She never navigated a health issue before. So who'd she call? Mom. It's hard. I'm not dismissing it. They don't need us every day. We're not right there on the sidelines of the soccer field. We're much more, we're down in the end zone when they're all down in the other end zone of the football field. But we're there and they know we're there. So it's what I recommend for you is reframe it. My children always need me in a different way. So I'm going to make sure they know I have space for them. My house is always open for them, and I'm a safe space to land. And when they call me, I'm going to meet them right where they are.
That's great. I love it. Thank you so much. You're motivating all of us to look forward to these stages in a positive way.
Yeah.
So what was the talk that truly inspired you? The one that sparked your aha moment, that like lit that fire inside you? What was it? Where were you? What happened?
As you ask that question, I can see myself sitting at the table and I see Luann Kahn, who was the keynote speaker at this local women empowerment event in Montgomery County, Pennsylvania. And she's an 8-time Emmy award-winning journalist from Philadelphia, Pearl. And she wrote a book called I Dare Me, how I did something new every day to reboot and recharge my life. Something like that is the tagline. That's behind me too. And I went to this event. I went by myself. There were about 350 women in the room, and you got a swag bag, and in it was her book. And at this time, I was a life coach, and I knew I wanted to support moms and other empty nesters at this point. I was clear on that. I did not know how. I didn't know what it was going to look like. So I'm sitting in that room, and she takes the stage and she starts talking about her year of daring firsts. She called them doing firsts, like first, second, third. And her year of firsts, that she was stuck. Things were changing in her industry. So her daughter told her, stop complaining. Her daughter called her out, just like I will call out some of the moms. Stop complaining. What are you going to do about it? And she told her, you need to do something new. She did something new every single day for a year to get unstuck. Yes. And in the back of her book, I highly recommend it, I Dare Me by Luann Kahn. On the back of the book are a list of all 365 dares. I sat in that room, and it was in that room that I really felt like she was just talking to me. There was nobody else around me. And the word dare just made me smile. It made me smile. I'm like, I have always been big about play. I have a playful attitude about myself. Things have to be fun. It's not that they don't have to be hard. They have to be fun. If the end result is going to be fun, I'll do the hard work. Like the podcast is fun, so I'll do all the hard work to create it. And I sat there and I thought, I've been daring. because she talked about daring is scary and it's little things. It's not like jumping out of an airplane, although it can be, but it's the little things like maybe talking to a stranger, going out and decide you're going to talk to three random people during a day. That's a dare. You know, driving in your car and letting everybody in front of you all day is a dare. And I sat there and I thought, oh my gosh, that's me. I've been scared, but having the time of my life, I'm a mom who dares. And I went and I wrote it down. I'm like, we're moms who dare. And I had a Facebook group that was nothing, really nothing. And I went home and I changed it that night to Moms Who Dare. And that's how Moms Who Dare in 2016 became a community. Luann changed it. She's my friend now, and she speaks on my podcast and
That
she comes
is
in.
such a neat story.
Yeah.
It just takes it's either like a person, a speech, a book, a quote, something like that. Lit your fire, turn you on the other side, and just say, okay, this is it. This is my calling. So it just stuck with you.
And I said, yes. I said, yes. And I was supposed to go with somebody. They couldn't go. I didn't want to go into a room. I'm an extrovert. And I didn't want to go into a room with 350 people I didn't know. And I thought, well, I'm just going to go have lunch, sit down. Whoever's next to me, I'll say hi. And I'm going to listen to a speaker. I can leave. I don't have to talk. I don't have to network. I said yes. And I ended up in a room that literally helped me propel and get really clear on who I served and how I wanted to serve them.
You were meant to be there that day, that
So
moment.
say yes, say yes.
Yes. So that's the message from this
Be
answer.
daring.
Yes, be
Yeah.
daring. So that was actually my question. What resonated with you with the word dare, and you talked to us about that. So realistically, what does dare actually mean to you personally? Because I know we talked about it. I mean, it can be extreme, like zip lining. Does it relate more to telling yourself or the moms in your community to kind of just has a deeper meaning just to push past your limits, whatever, because our limits are all different. My limit, might be that I want to try on this. Maybe I've never played tennis, or someone is a
Right.
tennis player, but she's never done yoga. So it
Yeah.
can be small things like that, or it can be bigger, but really within yourself, right? Really deep.
Yes. So there's Dare, and out of Dare came the rally call mantra for the Moms Who Dare community, which I actually have tattooed on my wrist now. It's my life mantra, Dare On. So daring, the way I describe daring, daring is just my fun. It's a fun four little letter word to remind you, to move you into action, to step out of your comfort zone and try something. Just try something. It could be something you did 10 years ago, 5 years ago. Luann Kahn's firsts were, she hadn't done it in 5 years or more. Some things were brand new. Some things weren't. Like, for example, zip lining. You brought up, I went zip lining. I wanted to, but I wasn't going to Jamaica the first zip lining. So we went to a children's zoo and I rallied 7 women who wanted to do it with me. We've dared to go and experience an escape the room adventure. We've gone axe throwing. Daring by yourself can be going out for a nature walk by yourself. Daring could be taking a new route to work. Daring could be spending a whole day just smiling at everybody you see, which not only can move you out of your comfort zone because you make eye contact and smile, you have to make eye contact, you're creating connection for yourself and others. And you have no idea what smiling has so many
It's
physical
so
benefits.
powerful.
Daring could be picking up the phone and calling an old friend and saying, I was thinking about you. And I know it's been 10 years, but I can't stop, get you out of my mind. I wanted to say hi. Daring could be jumping out of an airplane. I'll videotape you. That's not a dare I'm going to do.
Me
But
neither. Maybe like 20 years ago, but not now.
yeah, so that's what daring is. Daring is just my fun word to remind you to, get up and try to go take an art class, learn a new language, start a book club, start reading a book.
Yes.
Maybe you didn't read a book because you didn't have even 10 minutes to yourself to read a book. Cook, take a cooking class. Do it with your partner, your husband, your spouse, whoever it is in your life. Reconnect and say, look, let's take a cooking class together. Let's go learn how to play pickleball together. There's so much that daring can be. It's what you decide it is.
That's very powerful because you're in control of it. And that's just being the self-awareness, like being, because you're now, you have to be actually mindful and aware of, I need to start saying yes. I need to make that connection. I need to smile. I'm at the grocery store. Let me smile and make this person's day and give them a
Yes.
compliment. Just, instead of, again, like just being autopilot and not going throughout your day without really being aware of what's going on around you.
Like if I saw you standing at the deli counter in the market right now, I wouldn't hesitate for a second to say, "Oh my God, that color is awesome on you." We think it. So when you see something, say it out loud. You're giving a compliment to somebody else, and it does so much for them, but it does so much for you as well. Next time it snows, if you live somewhere, snow, go make a snow angel. When was the last time you played and made a snow angel or went sledding down a hill? These are all dares.
Yes.
Yeah.
But it kind of, it's like, bringing your childhood back a little bit. Like you see kids, they're so free spirited. They're having a good time. They're not worried about everyday things. Having a little bit of that in your regular life, it's just going to keep you younger and just happier.
And how about what you're teaching your kids, what you're modeling for your kids? Because I have a spoiler alert. They are watching you. You don't think they need you. They do. You don't think they care or they're paying attention to you. They are. Even though it's the self-absorbed years, I call the college years well into the 30s, so they have to be self-absorbed. They're just getting started. They're building their life. They're figuring out who their new friends are. It's a lot. They are all about themselves, but they're watching you. My kids are watching me. The first year my daughter went to college, and I started Moms Who Dare when I first started it. And I was posting a picture of us axe throwing, a picture of us zip lining. And now we're a hybrid, virtual and in person. She called me up one day and we were talking. She goes, "I think you and Dad are living your best life now that Daniel and I aren't home." I'm like, "Yay, me." She was excited for me.
It is so true, Jody, because I really feel when, when your children, they call or they want to see how you're doing, they don't want to hear, my mom is depressed, she's sad I'm not there, she's still home. I ask her what she's doing, she's not going anywhere. Nobody wants that kind of energy. You want to know that you're living like your best life in college, or maybe you've graduated, you're living in a different state, you're married, or whatever that's going on with your life. You want to know that your parents are happy. They are having a good time, they're healthy, they're happy. That energy is contagious. And then also in addition, you are modeling for your kids that you need to live a fulfilled life, that living your life at every stage is different, but as long as you're living it with happiness and fulfillment and you're aware, that's the key. You're modeling this for them. But if you're showing them that, okay, that's it, your whole purpose is just to raise kids, and when the kids go, you're supposed to be depressed and feel sorry
Yeah.
for yourself, and nothing is going on, and you're supposed to just wait until the kids come and visit you so you can be happy, or wait for the grandkids to come by. Nobody wants that kind of energy, and you're showing them that this is it, that your life kind of changes or ends or becomes sad after midlife.
Yeah, no. And that's not fair. That's not fair to you. It's not fair to them.
No,
They should be able to go off into the world and not worry
not
about
worry.
mom and dad. They should not be worrying about mom and dad.
Yeah, that's very true. Now,
And by the way, a byproduct of daring and saying yes and trying new things, you're going to be a lot more interesting to your children.
that's true. It's very, very true.
I've actually had adult children I've said to somebody when they found the Moms Who Dare, and we have a membership community too. I said, "Well, how'd you hear about us?" "My daughter heard about you and she told me I needed to join." Yeah.
That's great.
So that's a testament to what you said. Your kids want you to be happy.
Yes, yes. Even with me, with doing this, like my daughter who's in college, she is like, she'll tell her friends, and then she'll, exactly, like I have, her, the mother of her friends follow me. And when the kids, they come over and visit, they're so interested. They're like, well, how did you get into this? Or how are you doing this? So
Yeah.
it's like interesting for them that I have transitioned into doing something else in my life versus, like we talked about.
Yeah.
Now, do you find that many women are actually open to saying yes and trying new things, or they tend to be resistant? And if they are resistant, then how do you encourage them to leave their comfort zones?
A lot of women want to say yes to things and try new things. They just don't know what that thing is. And I'll take them through. I'll give them the three questions. Sit down, write a list, of the things you used to do before you were anybody's wife, before you were anybody's girlfriend, mother, before in your 20s, and you're that, what are things you liked to do? Write them down. And if you are married, if you have a partner in life, what are things that the two of you used to do before you became parents? And then the third one is, what is something you're watching somebody else do that you think, wow, that's cool. I could probably do that. That was me with public speaking. I sat in the audience. I'm like, I want to do that for people. I want to make people feel like she's making me feel like that. So the people who really, the women who are really ready, they're ready. They're ready to meet new women. They're ready to figure out their purpose. And I caution you with that word. Your purpose in emptiness is about figuring out who you are. Your purpose is reconnecting to you. That's your purpose. Your purpose isn't, becoming a CEO. It could end up being what you
Right.
do. The ones that are resistant, I remember there was one woman that we were talking one-on-one about something we wanted to do. And every time I said something, she would say something, she would say, yes, but, yes, but, yes, but. And I finally I just stopped. I said, you're done. She goes, what do you mean? I go, yes, but, yes, but. Everything is yes, but. So you can either be yes, but, or yes, and. And that comes with, you can make excuses, you can let fear, you can let all your excuses in the way, or you can take my hand and let's go. So for those that are really scared, that don't want to walk into a room with 350 people alone, that they just can't, because that's like a real thing. I get that. Find somebody who will go with you. Find somebody, call that wing woman of yours and have them go with you. And if you don't have somebody you can call, if you want to go to an event, because there's Meetup, there's Moms Who Dare, there's so many ways you can do it. Look for the organizer of the event, whether it's virtual or in person, and send the organizer a message. I don't know any organizer of any women's event or any fun event, a movie night, anything. I just planned a movie night and a new woman wanted to come. I said, I'm going to meet you at the door. Here's my cell phone. Text me.
Oh,
Reach out,
that's
reach out to
perfect.
the,
Yes,
yes, so reach out to the organizer and say, look, I'm new to the group. I really want to come to this, but I'm a little nervous.
of
There's
course.
no woman our age that's going to this is not middle school, ladies.
Yes. Thank God.
We're ready to hold each other's hands, support each other.
Yeah,
This is good stuff. So that would be, if you're really, really, really scared, talk to the organizer or find somebody to talk to, because we
yes.
need connection in
It
this
needs,
chat.
it's all about connection. It's so
Yeah.
important to have that support and connection. I know you touch on this briefly, but if you can just say it, what are the 5 dares you believe that every woman should try to step outside their comfort zone and grow?
Okay. The reason I chose these five are because they're just simple and you don't need anybody to do it with you, or you can. So, and they will all, number one, there's all science behind them of releasing good hormones, feel good hormones. So I'm just going to list them, but I want to tell you what all of them can release the good endorphins in your brain and in your body, make you feel good, foster connection, and just have you feeling lighter and your overall well-being. Smile. We already talked about smile. Smile at yourself in the mirror. Smile when you're talking on the phone. Smile when you're on a podcast with somebody on a Zoom. Smile at the person sitting at the red light next to you in the car. Smile. Make the person behind the counter smile at you. They're not looking anymore like next, next. And just say, hi, and smile. That's one. The second one is laugh. Find ways to bring laughter into your life. I had surgery. I broke my wrist for the first time in my life. I broke a bone a year ago, and I was so unhappy. I was so sad, and nobody was home. My husband had to go away. He was so upset he had to go away. It was like 2 days later, I found John Mulaney. I discovered John Mulaney, who's a comedian on Netflix, and I sat and I laughed myself silly. I laughed myself till I cried. So find ways to bring laughter in your life. Another way my husband and I do it, we'll just start watching Cheers.
Oh, the old shows, the good
We
old.
start, yeah, we're done with the Netflix series. We're done with all the heavy stuff. We don't watch the news. Let's watch Cheers. Okay, so find a way to smile and bring laughter into your life. Play. When was the last time you played? We lose the ability to play because we're so worried about what people are going to think. And when I say play, bring out the Yahtzee game. Bring out Yahtzee. When was the last time you played Yahtzee or backgammon? Learn to play canasta. Next time you drive by that local playground in your neighborhood, don't drive by, pull in, go on the swings, go down a sliding board. If you have a niece, a nephew, a grandchild, play with them. Follow them around and play. Find ways to bring playfulness into your life. The fourth is to look for the good. And it's another gratitude practice.
Mhm.
Seek out intentionally the good. But not only look for the good, savor it for at least 20 seconds. So when you see that rainbow in the sky, don't go, oh my God, look at the rainbow, and pull out your phone. Don't even pull out your phone. I want you to sit there. I want you to
Favorite.
say,
I think that's so
look
great.
at that rainbow and just stare at it and and sing the song, red and yellow and pink. It's a song from a show in Philadelphia. But Roy G. Biv, red, orange, yellow, green, blue, indigo, violet. Notice the colors, notice the brightness. 20 seconds of noticing the good. And if you don't notice any good during the day, which you're not looking hard enough, because you can see a cloud in the sky. You can see the most adorable dog. You can see a little baby in the stroller putting their feet in their mouth. These are good. Look for the good throughout the day. And if not, at the end of your day, be intentional about saying, what was good today? Smile, laugh, play, look for the good. And the final one is the hard one. We said it before, just be. Get quiet. Learn to be
Quiet voice.
learn to be comfortable doing nothing, even if for a minute. Just be.
These
Those
are
are
such easy,
I know.
simple tools, but we just have to remember to, again, put it in our toolbox, like we talked about, and just pull it out because it's just things that if you do on a regular basis can really change your mindset, change your day, change your attitude.
Mhm.
Very simple. Now, Jodi, as I know your kids are older, but if you can give us advice as you transition into parenting adult children, because you've been doing it for a longer time, what advice do you have for navigating this new role without offering too many solutions or jumping in to help immediately? Because I mean, for me, my oldest is 19 and I try, like sometimes she'll call me and she'll tell me something maybe, and I immediately want to solve the problem, but I know that's a no-no. I've been reading about it, learning about it, that I have to kind of offer a listening support first and then kind of ask permission, like, do you want me just to listen or do you want me to give you advice? So take it away. Tell me what to do.
So I will share with you currently while we're recording this, my son is 26 and my daughter's going to be 30. And I'm still learning to navigate the adult relationship. Now my daughter's getting married. That's a whole different ballgame.
Oh, congratulations.
I know. So excited in the fall of this year. So I'm still learning. I'm still learning the boundaries that I need to have to respect them as adults. They both live out of the house. They both live with their boyfriend and girlfriend, respectively. They're living an adult relationship life. So, with that said, the number one thing and where to start is I learned the hard way because we're all fixers by nature,
Yes.
is you have to be willing and able to shift from the fixer of all things to the coach, which is what you said. It's not jumping in to give them advice, telling them what they need and should do, or offering them a solution when they call you with an issue. It's exactly what you said, it's asking permission. Because here's the thing, going back to the needing you, your kids will always call you because you are a safe space. You are a sounding board. They can be cranky and they can complain about their boss and their roommates and their boyfriends and girlfriends and life and they can complain to you, but they don't always want you to participate in that conversation. They just want you to hold the space and receive it. So shift from fixer to coach. When your child calls you about anything, it could be a roommate conflict in college. It can be something happening at work if they're out of college. It could be about their relationship they're in. Let them ask. And if you can get it in the beginning of the conversation, great. But at least at the end, somewhere when they're finished or at the beginning, are you venting here or did you want me to weigh in? Or and are you looking for me to give you guidance here? And here's the thing, Pearl, even if they say, yes, I want your opinion, I want
We'll
your
have to be
guidance,
careful.
don't fix it. Don't fix it. I have 5 questions that go along with this to help you guide them on coming up with those solutions. Because what our kids need to become confident decision makers. They need to be able to navigate difficult conversations and conflicts with people. There's going to be conflict with people. And if you're telling them every step of the way, Like one of the things, one of the things, and we all know this to be true, and so many of you are probably doing this. I wasn't good at this. But a really great question when they call that they're having a conflict or they're angry at somebody because they did something to them and say, okay, well, if it were you, how would you want them to approach you? Not that's different than, well, I would blah, 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 tell them this. And when they're adults, the best way to empower them to fill their toolbox and for them to subconsciously think, they don't know they're thinking this, damn, my mom thinks I've got this. My mom has confidence in me, is guiding, coaching, advising, use whatever word you want. I use it going from fixer to coach and coach them through it. How would you want Pearl to approach you, Jodi, if the situation was reversed? And a really hard one. It's like, what was your role in the conflict? That will really get them angry. Say,
I love these.
I have the whole resource. If you want, I have it's called the shifting resource. It tells you about fixer to coach, and then it gives
It's
you the
on
five.
your website?
No, I don't, but I'll give you the
Yeah.
link if you want it.
Yes, yes, that would be great.
I love that. It's my favorite resource. It was the first resource I ever created. I delivered it to the PTO at our high school. They loved it.
Right when you said that, like immediately when my daughter calls me, I'm thinking, oh, well, she's telling me these things because she wants me to tell her what to do. But when you said it, no, she's just calling to hear you because you're the safe space. She wants to vent. You need to make sure. And the funniest thing is when you mention is I get into this with my husband because a lot of times I think a lot of men too can try to be fixers too.
Oh, big time.
So I want to vent to him like I would with a girlfriend. And immediately he's like, oh, who cares? I'm like, you should do this and this. I'm like, can you just stop? I just want you to listen to me. So I was like, wait, I'm doing the exact same thing. Like I complained to him, just stop. You don't need to fix everything. Just
Right.
listen, hear me out. And then I do the same thing with my kids. So that was like an aha moment for me right then.
Yes. No, because it's so important. It just happened with me and my husband. He was trying to justify and fix. I'm like, I just need to vent. He's like,
That's
okay,
it.
he goes, I'm a fixer. I'm like, I know. Well, stop it.
I,
Like this.
I think they're all fixers,
But
right?
you know what? The best thing to do when they call you, take a beat. I would say take a beat. Before you answer anyone, before you dive into anything, take a beat, which means a pause, and say, okay, I'm not going to fix this, but take a beat. You don't have to jump right in.
Yeah, that's really good. I'm going to remember
But it
that.
is men are big time fixers. It's not
Yes,
just
yes, yeah, for sure, for sure. It'll take practice on my part, but I will definitely work on this. And
oh, I fall off the fixer
yeah,
wagon all the time.
yeah, it's hard because then I hear it from my other daughter, and because she has immediately called her, and she's complaining. She's like, "Mom, she said she called to get some, just listen to her, and you gave her all this, and then we got into an argument because she yelled at me and says, I don't need you to tell me what to do." And I'm like, "Wait, what just happened? How did we get into an argument? I don't even know where we went there." So it's very, very true.
Yeah.
Well, Jodi, now you've been married for 32 years.
This year will be 33. Yep.
33. So congratulations.
Thank you.
If you can share with our listeners, what are the three key factors you believe is essential to maintaining a strong relationship once the children grow up and leave? Because we know it's really hard. A lot of us get into that stage in our relationship where it's all about the kids and we don't make time for each other, or even if we do go out on a date night, the entire conversation involves the children.
I
And
know.
so all of a sudden we have nothing to talk about, nothing to do. Life is slowed down. And it's healthy for us to do things on our own. But sometimes you see that happening too much where couples completely drift apart. It's like they're taking trips, with solo or with friends all the time versus any time with each other, or doing activities like 5 days a week without each other. So how do we go about navigating a relationship once the kids leave? Because it can be
That's a
very
great
special
question.
if we do it the right way, right? We can come back the
Yes.
way we used to be, or there's a lot of divorce, or there's, disconnection and relationships fall apart.
And it's such a great question because the feeling of disconnection can be normal. It doesn't have to lead to divorce. It doesn't. So that's a really great question. Thank you for asking that. I would say the same thing that I would say to a woman who's trying to figure out who she wants to be. And I said this earlier, sit down with your significant other and get back in touch with the things you used to like to do. Say, you know what? I'm feeling like we're sitting at home, we're really not doing anything. And I know like with me and my husband, I'm like, I know you have your golf, I have my tennis. We've always had that. And I think it's very important, like you said, to have our own things. It's good to have girlfriends, it's good to have boyfriends. I said, we need to do something else other than just go out to dinner on a Friday or Saturday night. I go, I just want to do something. And he doesn't love the movies. And so we started to think, and we're like, well, we both really like live music. He loves it more than me, but I do like it, like cover bands. And so one year we literally went. I have a friend, my childhood friend, who has a band, and he was playing locally, and it's a cover band. And we went, it was like a high school reunion. And we went to four of their shows together, and it was a lot of fun. So sit down, and if you are like my generation, you have photo albums, pull out the photo albums if you're stuck for it, but sit down and make a list of the things that you used to like doing together or things that, and throw out ideas. Say, well, maybe you both do like cooking, you're real foodies. So maybe there's a chef's table experience at a restaurant. You can do that and write a list. And if you're really daring and you have a husband that wants to, or a wife that wants to do this with you, make a little vision board or just make it as a list. The list can be your vision board too, and make it a priority. You have to schedule it together. Say, okay, I'm going to look into this, you look into that, and put timeline on it. But start with a list. Say, what are things we used to like to do? Maybe you do love to go to the movies. So do movies and a day night, the movies. Maybe you just do dinner at home and just go to the movies. Maybe you like to, I don't know, bowl. When was the last time you went bowling? So
Sure.
go bowling. So make a list. That's number one. Reconnect to the things you used to enjoy doing together. This one I can't take credit for. A great life coach who's also a really good friend of mine came up with this. Is do a day swap. Recon Introduce yourself to what makes your partner glow and shine. It's a way to bring connections. So, for example, I like to hike. Sam doesn't love hiking. He doesn't hate it, but he doesn't love it. And he loves golfing. And the last time I was on the golf course with him, I think it was our honeymoon or a trip once to Pebble Beach, and I walked the 18th hole with him, whatever. So during the pandemic, one day it was a gorgeous day out. We were all stuck inside. He said, God, I would love to golf. He goes, but I don't have time and the sun's going to set. I go, well, why don't, let's go. I'll walk with you. You play 9 holes. He goes, really? You'll come? I'm like, I'll get my walking in and you'll play your 9 holes. It was the most amazing day. I forgot, first of all, how beautiful a golf course can be. You're out in nature.
Yeah.
It's
Sure.
quiet. And he was so lit up and he loved it. And then we went to Vermont and I said, we're going to go for a hike. And I chose a very easy hike, but up to a waterfall. He loved it. But he saw how I calm down. I settle when I'm out in nature, whether it's the beach or in the woods. So plan a day swap. Side point to that one. It's a really good way to feel less disconnected from your adult child who doesn't live near you. Visit them. And when they say, what do you want to do? Say, I want you to take me to all your favorite places. So a day swap. And then the last thing is ask for what you need, like not fixing it, giving me space to vent. I am married to one of the most amazing human beings on this planet. And almost 33 years of marriage later, I still have to ask for a hug every now and then. Don't assume
Yep.
they know because they don't. And he'll tell you, we don't know. We're not that bright. So ask, get rid of the ego and say, I could use a hug right now. I could use a night out right now. I'll tell him, dude, when was the last time I call him dude? Dude, why don't you plan a date night for us? Why do I have to make the reservation? He was like, okay, I'll do it. I just had to ask. But if we sit there and dig our heels in, like he should know, he should want to do this for
And
me.
feel resentment and anger. Yes.
They just don't. We have to get rid of the ego. So reconnect to the things you enjoy doing together and make a plan to check them off, do a day swap, insert yourself in each other's day and be there wholeheartedly, and then ask for what you need. I know it was a long-winded thing, but
No, but all of them, I mean, they're not too difficult, but really powerful to create harmony in your relationship after your kids leave. And I love the date swap. What a great idea, because we all have different interests. And just to show a little bit, because sometimes you do that with your friends. Like if your friend is interested in doing something, you're not really into it, but you go along with them because you want to be a nice friend. But we forget to do the same thing with our spouses. It's like, oh, I don't like basketball, I don't want to come to the game, go with your friends. Like sometimes giving in and doing
Oh,
a swap, then that connection comes back together. So that
exactly.
was every single advice that you gave us was very powerful.
Oh, I'm so happy. Great questions. I love this conversation.
Thank you, Jodi. Well, I mean, we could have our conversation go on and on, but I want to be respectful of your time as well. As women, to summarize, we have to navigate countless transitions, but midlife presents a unique storm of challenges, as we know: menopause, aging parents, and becoming empty nesters. It is overwhelming, even unbearable at times. But after listening to Jodi today, there is a powerful reminder: there is hope. We can rewrite society's story, the one that says, this is the beginning of the end. No, it's not. It's never too late to become the person you want to be. This chapter offers an opportunity to model something profound for your children. Like we talked about, your children are watching. You get to do the same as they embark on their paths. They are watching us. Your energy, passion, how you live your life will influence them in ways you cannot even imagine. If you settle for an unfulfilled life, that energy will ripple to them. But if you embrace this new phase of your life with purpose and excitement, they will feel that energy as well. Your kids are carving out their lives, and you get to carve out yours while still staying connected to them. This is a chance to build new, meaningful relationships with them as adults, deepening your connection with your partner, and rediscovering yourself and re-engaging with your community, making new friends, trying new classes, saying yes, daring yourself to do something new. So how do we break free from the patterns holding us back? What we know is, no, midlife is over. Emptiness becomes sad. No, how do we dare step out, shift gears, and embrace something new? It starts by silencing that inner self-doubt and taking one small, courageous step forward. It's not a giant leap. It's about daring to try, whether learning a new skill, saying yes to an opportunity, or simply seeing yourself in a new light. Change happens when we take action, no matter how small. Jodi and I want every woman stepping into this chapter to know you are not too old. You are enough, and it's not too late to become the person you were always meant to be. Thank you, Jodi, for being on Female Fluence today. All the links to contact Jodi will be in my show notes. Thank you, everyone. Thank you, everyone, for tuning in today to Female Fluence. Together, we can influence and motivate other mind-like females. Your job is to feel alive, be in control, and always be true to your own self. Please don't forget to subscribe so you can continue feeling inspired. All the links and notes from this episode will be posted on my website, femalefluence.com. Don't forget to also follow me at Female Fluence on both Instagram and Facebook. Lastly, if you are in need of a woman empowerment life coach to help you identify the barriers that keep you from living the life you seek, please send an email to info@femalefluence.org. Remember, my friends, don't just exist, but live your life to the fullest. I'm your host, Pearl Mashur. Until we talk next time.